Think your carry-on is fine? You might be in for a surprise. In 2025, airlines are quietly changing the rules, and some of them are pretty frustrating. From smaller size limits to new fees at the gate, these changes can mess up your trip before you even board the plane. Even if you fly often, or just once a year, knowing the new carry-on rules can save you time, stress, and money. Some of these updates aren't even announced clearly, so travelers are learning the hard way. So stick around. We're going over 7 carry-on rules that might totally catch you off guard. And hey, if you fly at all, hit like and subscribe so you're not the next one stuck paying surprise fees. So you've got that trusty carry-on that's been with you for years? Well, it might not make the cut anymore. In 2025, several airlines, especially budget carriers, are quietly shrinking the allowed dimensions for carry-on luggage. What used to be a standard 22 by 14 to 9 inches is being trimmed down to 20, 13 to 8, or even less. Frontier, Ryanair, and a few Asian carriers have already updated their policies, and the trend is catching on fast. The reason? Smaller bags mean faster boarding, more upsells for checked luggage, and, yep, you guessed it, more money for the airline. Some airlines now enforce these size checks right at the gate, and if your bag doesn't fit, you'll be paying checked bag fees on the spot, sometimes $75 or more. If you're shopping for a new bag in 2025, look for labels that say compliant or under seat approved. Better yet, always carry a softshell bag that has a little give when it's time to squeeze. Here's a rule that's catching a lot of people off guard in 2025. Some airlines are now charging you just to bring a carry-on, not checked luggage, your carry-on. This is especially common with basic economy tickets. A few years ago, your carry-on was always included in the price. Now, not so much. Airlines like Spirit, Frontier, and even some big names like United and Lufthansa are testing new fare classes that charge extra to bring a bag in the cabin. We're talking $30 to $75 one way, sometimes more if you don't pay ahead of time. These fees usually show up when you go to check in or select your seat, which means many travelers don't even notice until it's too late. Here's the trick. Always check what's included in your ticket, especially if you're booking through third-party sites. And if you're flying a budget airline, add your carry-on fee while booking. It's cheaper up front than at the airport. This change is frustrating, but knowing about it ahead of time can save you both cash and headaches. Even if your bag fits in the sizer, airlines are cracking down on something else in 2025: weight limits. And this time, they're actually enforcing them. In the past, most airlines had weight limits for carry-ons, but they rarely checked. Now, scales are popping up at boarding gates, especially with international and budget carriers. Airlines like AirAsia, EasyJet, and several European carriers are leading the charge, setting strict limits between 15 and 22 pounds, 7 to 10 kilograms, for your carry-on. And if your bag is even slightly over, you could be forced to check it, and that usually means paying a fee right there at the gate. To avoid this, weigh your bag at home, seriously. A small luggage scale costs around $10 and can save you a big hassle. And if your bag's borderline, wear heavier items like jackets or shoes instead of packing them. Also, keep in mind that some airlines now combine the weight of your carry-on and personal item, so even your laptop bag might push you over the limit if you're not careful. Knowing your limits and packing accordingly can help you breeze through boarding instead of getting stopped at the gate. Think you know what you can pack in your carry-on? In 2025, airlines and airport security are adding new bans, and some of them are catching travelers by surprise. We all know about liquids over 3.4 ounces, but now some airlines are banning things like power banks over a certain size, Bluetooth tracking devices like older AirTags, and even certain types of snacks and beauty products. Why? Mostly for safety and tech concerns. For example, large lithium batteries can overheat in the cabin, and some trackers are being flagged for privacy issues in certain countries. Even common items like dry shampoo, protein powders, or massage guns are being pulled at security, especially on international flights. So what can you do? Before your flight, check both your airline's baggage rules and your departure airport security guidelines. They don't always match, and if something's not allowed, there's no getting it back once it's taken. If you're unsure, keep unusual electronics or gear in your checked bag, or skip them entirely to be safe. All right, let's talk about the one bag everyone assumes is safe, your personal item. In 2025, even that is getting stricter. A personal item used to mean anything small enough to fit under the seat, like a backpack, purse, or laptop bag. But now, airlines are tightening the definition. Some carriers are setting exact dimensions for personal items, like 16 to 12 at 6 inches. And if your bag goes over even a little, they'll count it as a full carry-on. That matters because many low-cost tickets now allow only a personal item, not a carry-on. If your backpack is too bulky, you'll either have to check it or pay to bring it on board. And here's a sneaky update. Some airlines now consider things like camera bags, diaper bags, or even neck pillows as extra items, not part of your personal item allowance. To stay in the clear, use a slim backpack or tote bag that fits under the seat comfortably, and avoid bags with wheels or hard sides, which can look like carry-ons, even if they're technically small enough. Always double-check your airline's personal item policy, because in 2025, one small bag doesn't always mean what you think it does. If you're flying internationally in 2025, don't assume the carry-on rules are the same everywhere. They're not even close. Different countries and different airlines have their own rules for what counts as a carry-on. A bag that's fine in the US might be too big or too heavy for flights in Europe or Asia. For example, airlines like Wizz Air and Ryanair in Europe are super strict on bag size and weight. Meanwhile, carriers in Japan often allow smaller bags but have tighter enforcement. And don't even get started on domestic flights in South America, where some planes have smaller overhead bins entirely. And it's not just about size. Some international airlines combine the weight of your carry-on and personal item into one limit. Go over it and you're checking bags at the gate. Before your flight, look up the specific airline's policy, not just the general airport rules. Most airlines post carry-on guidelines on their website. A few even include sizing charts and printable templates. Bottom line? Don't assume your go-to travel bag works worldwide. What passes in LAX might not fly in Lisbon. Airline rules used to be pretty simple, but in 2025, they're changing fast, and carry-on policies are at the center of it. From shrinking bag sizes and surprise fees to item bans and stricter weight checks, it's easy to get caught off guard. And with rules varying by airline and by country, even seasoned travelers are hitting snags. But now that you know what to watch out for, you can plan smarter. Check your airline's baggage policies before every flight, pack light, and never assume your usual bag is still within the limit. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below, especially if you've been hit with one of these surprise rules recently. Let's help each other out.